Happy St. Valentine's Day. I was wondering if you ever had a crush on anyone. How early was it? How young were you? And what your crush was? Did it ever come to anything? This girl, when I was about 11, this girl and I, Cheryl and I, would hang out sometimes. And we thought we would make this cute kid named Myron some cookies. And so we got flour and sugar and water and anything that just looked like it might have been a dough. You know, my mom wasn't around. I don't know where she was. But we made these lumpy things in the oven, and they were hard as rocks. And when you licked on them to see if they tasted any good, no. So I drew a nice picture, and we both signed "I love you" on it. And my brother David, who was about 5.5 years old at the time, got on his big wheel and went with us. We went for a walk about 4 blocks away where Myron lived. And I said, that third house there with the porch, the mailbox right there, go put this note in there. So my brother said, okay. And we kind of like hid behind a bush. And David rides his big wheel down there, and he goes up on the porch to put the note in the mailbox, and someone comes to the door. The next thing I know, David turns and points to us. You know, he's pointing, and I'm like, oh crap. Nothing ever came of it. We continued and had a nice walk, you know. I think I gave David a candy bar as payment or something. That was my first crush on somebody, I guess. Let's see. Junior high. Junior high, I kind of had a crush on a kid named Rod, and I used to write all over my notebook. Oh God, I love Rod. All over the notebook. You know how girls write their name plus that person's last name. Yeah, it was like that, but nothing ever came of anything. I don't think he knew I existed. In high school, there was a guy with long hair and a beard. The only kid in high school with a beard. And he was pretty cool. I hung out with him a little bit. And he provided herb, and he taught me about Eastern philosophy and things. I was invited to do some interesting things, but I never did. I wanted to, but I never did. I mean, physical-wise, not drugs. I wanted to, but I never did. Also in high school, I actually had my first boyfriend, really. I was a senior, he was a junior. He was an odd-looking, an odd-acting person. I really knew how to pick him. He was an only child. He lived with his dad, and then they had a housekeeper that lived in this house. It was a great big old 2-story house built about 1890. He liked stuff from the 20s and 30s and imitated Groucho Marx, and I did Margaret Dumont, and we used to go to fundraisers and stuff. We didn't get paid for it, but we had a good time, and fundraisers made money and stuff when we did the Groucho Marx stuff. And I don't know how long we'd been going out, but it was springtime, and we'd been someplace, and he was driving me back home, and Golden Earrings Radar Love was playing on the radio, and he told me that was it, that we're no longer a couple or whatever, you know. So I can't hear that song without thinking about that. Yeah. I'm not sure how the heck I met Bob anyway. He went to a different high school. He was 1 year older than me, or than I. He had a couple buddies that hung out with him too. They all had nicknames for each other, and I don't remember. I know Bob's was Pimp. He had a few girlfriends. Yeah, I like I said, I really know how to pick them. And I went out with him, and he had a waterbed, and he was fine. Oh, yeah, I had a wonderful time. I had a wonderful time with him. Oh, man. He got a job down in Texas, and I visited him down there, but apparently I rearranged the cupboards in alphabetical order, the soup cans and vegetables and stuff, and apparently the guy that was a roommate in the apartment pissed and moaned about it. Said, no, she's not going to be with you. Get rid of her. She's crazy. Well, whatever. I cried a lot. I used to have the monopoly of babysitting in the neighborhood. I love kids and I loved babysitting. And I'd play with the kids. I wouldn't be one of those babysitters that just sat and dictated stuff. No, I actually got down on the floor and played with the kids, and we had imagination time and all kinds of fun. We had a lot of fun. The guy at the end of the street, Mr. Dixon, was head of the communications department at one of the junior colleges, and he said, we're doing a play, and I'm not going to pay you as a babysitter, but maybe you would like to come and see the play with the kids, and then we'll go buy McDonald's afterwards. And I thought, okay, I really needed something to shake the doldrums. And there was called The Purple Prince, and the Purple Prince was Charles, the guy I ended up marrying. And I thought he was cute. He had wireframe glasses and curly hair. Ugh. Anyway, the next year later that summer when I was entering junior college, and I was in the office trying to find the student government people so that I could join and be part of the international club and all that stuff. I had interest in it back then. Someone came up behind me and said, I know where it is. I've been here 5 years, so I know where it is. And I'm like, I turned around and it was him. It was Charles. And I was like, oh. Our first date, he was not very nice. But I thought maybe it was a fluke or something. And then we used to have Saturday evening, we'd have Chinese food and watch Saturday Night Live. And then I'd go home. That was our dating life. When I turned 21, I had had enough of living under my mom's rule. I couldn't stand it anymore. And I told him that I couldn't stand it. He says, move in with me, so I moved in with him. And various places that we lived were shitholes. And then we ended up getting married, and I had 2 sons. We had sex about as many times as I have children. Yeah, he didn't like it. Boy, I did, but he didn't. So, I was just chief bottle washer, cook, nanny, house cleaner, laundress, blah, blah, blah. Car repairman, I did everything. It came down to it with a lot of years of domestic violence and calls to 911 and the police coming many different times. Finally, they changed the laws so that the police, if they had suspect of an issue, that they could come in, and they did, and that was the beginning of the end of that marriage. And I'm glad. It was like a millstone taken off my neck. Then that house that we were living in, I was awarded, but the policeman said, he might come back, so if you have another place to go, we suggest that. So the kids and I lived in my mom's basement. Even though she has a 4-bedroom house, she has so much junk in every room. So we lived there until this house came available. Mom had rented out my old house, and those people didn't take care of it. She ended up selling it, and with that money, she started paying on this house. So that's why I live here. The divorce was in 97. In the year 2000, I'd been going on like coffee dates. You hear from somebody and you say, well, let's meet for coffee. So you want to, what they're like, talk and stuff like that. And these guys, it's like, I don't know what rock they crawled out from under. But they were not what they said they were. One guy even showed up plastered. He was drunk beyond drunk. Like he was that nervous he couldn't meet someone without being drunk? I was offended. That's offensive. So I thought the very next person that agrees to have coffee date or dinner or whatever with me, I am going to oust them publicly. I don't care. I've had it. And that's where this guy says he's Italian. He's Italian. He's the real deal and all that. And I thought, oh boy, this is the guy I'm going to oust. So I made a dinner arrangement with him for a really nice place. And I go, and I'm probably a couple minutes late. And he's there already. He's talking to all the wait staff, and they're having a good time. And it's Bear. He was known by Bear, but his name's Corrado. And I thought, oh, maybe he's a really good actor. So we were sitting and eating, and there were just so many things that intrigued me about him. He was talking, and I said, well, what is your name? And he'd say it, but real fast, because he just didn't want, he was like, I'm a private man. And I'm like, what do you got to hide, dude? He was in the process of getting a divorce, and someone that was on vacation in Italy said, why don't you come stay with me and just clear things up? So he was staying with somebody, a car salesman guy, and he was staying with that guy. Because I'd been over to their house and been in the hot tub and everything. Bear had other women friends. But, any other guy I had ever even come near had nothing. He couldn't hold a candle to Bear. Bear's an oddball looking guy. But his personality, I felt I knew him. He had the same kind of upbringing as I did, the same type of narcissistic mom and the same kind of crap. He had the same kind of crap in his life that I've had. So, I wanted to learn him from the inside out, so I learned Italian. And I was mad in love with this guy. And he had to tell me, he says, I may not be a faithful lover, but I'll always be a faithful friend. And he was, and I helped him work on stuff. I taught him about tools. We worked on rehabbing a house, and finally, and we went to the gym together. He was like a bodybuilder. Woo! And those Europeans, oh my God. They know a lot of things the American guys don't know. Let me tell you that. Anyway, he contracted leukemia. And in 2010, he passed away. It only took about 2-3 months from when he told me that he was sick. He didn't live past 6 months when he first had the blood tests. It went really quick. And I miss him terribly. Every day I miss him. But I still try to keep up my Italian. And I should have known way back then as much as I know now. But I don't know why I didn't. But I've probably talked way too long. Oh God, yeah. I don't know. Is there another person out there? Can you see why I kind of went goo goo gaga over my shrink? People that are nice to me, I tend to having an affinity for if they meet certain criteria. They have to be intelligent. And they have to be certain physical things, but I don't know. It's been 10 years. 10 long years. Oh my God. I need to just shut up now. Perhaps I can shorten my future vlogs and get things concise without blithering on. But, yeah. Can you see why I'm thirsty? It's kind of hard to go upward and onward sometimes.